In a previous episode of Philosophy Matti Has an Issue, I presented the case of marzipan, the last living guinea pig in the world. I asked would I, as the last living human being in the world, be permitted to end marzipan's life on certain specified conditions. The context of my question was David Benatar's 2006 book Better Never to Have Been. The conditions were that I would myself die soon and that marzipan's life after my demise would be miserable. Citing some possibly relevant passages of the book and making some deductions of my own, I concluded that the David Benatar of Better Never to Have Been could have automatically granted me the permission to shorten marzipan's life. In the discussion that followed, some agreed with me, others had their doubts. I had assumed that no one can be so categorically against shortening lives that they could leave or even consider leaving poor marzipan to die alone in misery. Some of the commentators shared my assumption, and some of them even believed that Better Never to Have Been would have explicitly and unquestioningly supported the view. How wrong we were. Prompted by the more skeptical comments, I solicited Amanda's help, and together we sifted through the book to refute my original view. And refuted it was, or so I now think. Let me start again from a clean slate and explain our main findings and their probable meaning. The connection between killing individuals and making species extinct that I had evoked turned out to be a red herring. Soon after the passages I quoted on the distinction between killing extinction and dying of extinction, a footnote specifies that in the case of non-humans there has been too much emphasis on the demise of species. The real issue is that individual non-human lives are cut short. Killing individuals is wrong. Now we only have to find out which individuals and why. Not all are equal in this respect. The chapter on the morality of abortion seems to be the best source when it comes to the wrongness of killing in Better Never to Have Been. Benatar discusses several anti-abortion views, including Richard Hare's appeal to the Golden Rule and Don Marquis' idea of a future of value and the immorality of its deprivation. These views are not to David Benatar's liking. His own view is encapsulated in one sentence. Discontinuing the valuable life of a being with morally relevant interests in that life is prima facie wrong. One sentence, but at least two distinct messages. That a being has to have morally relevant interests in its life is meant to exclude human embryos and fetuses and to justify abortions. Early humans do not, according to Benatar, have the more advanced interests required for an entitlement to live. He then goes on to argue that terminating early pregnancies would in fact be preferable to continuing them to term. I am recommending that she, a pregnant woman early on, does abort and that she needs excellent reasons not to. Which for now just goes to show that Better Never to Have Been is no stranger to killing beings as long as they are of the killable type. Marzipan, however, does not belong to the same category with human embryos, which means that, unless proven otherwise, I would be discontinuing the valuable life of a being with morally relevant interests in that life. Some of my commentators have called this the deprivation view, and it is now duly noted. There could be a way out of this, in marzipan's favor I believe, but enough of me for now. What do you think?